protect the source of magic and of magical knowledge, to acquire and guard whatsoever artifacts and devices which comprise the same, to uphold the system of watching and knowing which preserves the security of mortal life on earth. And at the end of the 10 or 15-minute recital, you had to say, with my entire being. With my entire being. My new employers were powerful, always had been, to a greater or lesser extent, and in inverse proportion to their visibility. And now I worked, I refuse to say lived, in the bright upper atmospheric cloud of that power. Looking at the world I thought I knew from 50,000 feet, I no longer felt awed by it. Awe had lasted about a week. Now it was fear, pure and simple. Fear of the true and unfathomable strength of their grip, held in check till the oath was recited and signed, and only then revealed. A hold that would not break even if you fought it with all your strength, all your wiles, or all your money, or all your allies. Not even, someone had hinted, death could release those coils. And what the hell did that mean? Still, to be so high up, to be raised so high, in such secrecy, lifted alone into this bright place, to look down on where I had been before they had arrived, even for the terrible reasons they had asked, the worst reasons I had accepted. The void swayed and sang and swayed. I monitored it out of the corner of my eye, seeing only glimpses of a thing like a solar eclipse, a feathery ring of light surrounding a perfect orb of darkness. It's fine. It'll be fine. Trained for weeks. Wrote the sigil 1,000 times on the whiteboard. And after this, who knows? Sky's the limit, baby. My heart pounded as the watcher rose slowly over my head and settled into a kind of questing steady flight, no longer rotating, the spikes quiet. I exhaled slowly and reached for the whiteboard again. The second part of the spell would be, "Nick, can you come up? The boys won't let me record my show." The watcher flinched in midair, jerked towards the door, toward the voice of my sister. Before I could think of anything more coherent than, "Get the fuck away from her," my hand snapped forward and closed around it. Roar of pain. Invisible explosion, trapped and rebounding from unbreakable walls, darkness whirling, a crack as something broke. Under the surging noise, I barely heard Carla's socked feet pattering down the steps, and I wrenched my fingers open, shaking my hand. But it was too late. This was no crushed bee, dead after its single-use weapon. The watcher had popped or something, and an agonizing wave of cold crawled up my arm, burning and freezing and breaking and pulsing like lightning. No time to suffer, only enough to conceal. My legs weren't working. I staggered up from the floor, crashing first into the door, then through, shoving it shut just as Carla entered my bedroom. Her nervous, angular little face seemed startled in the reflected light of the stairway. "What were you doing?" "Work. With all the lights off?" "What were you saying about the PVR?" I shepherded her back to the stairs, and we climbed to the living room, following the familiar sound of the boys shouting. "I wasn't going to bother you," she mumbled. "It's just, I wanted to set it up to get the new Futurama, and their turn is over, and the rules say, 'Okay, TV cup.'" "I'm sorry. It's okay." "Were you super busy?" "I shouldn't have said anything." "No, it's okay." I sat on the couch, poking one of the boys. I couldn't tell who, with my toe. They both remained glued to the rug, staring up at the TV. "Hey, you butts. Why are you being butts this time? Why are you doing buttly things to your saintly sister?" "Thank you. It'll only take a second. We just wanted you to see one thing. We found it on the news. And Cookie is a tattle. You're supposed to say narc. You didn't even know what that means. Neither of you knows what it means." Chris turned, agitated. Their usual bickering seemed strangely on edge, too. And what the hell could a couple of 10-year-olds worry about? I thought with a sudden flare of irritation. What was so important in their goddamn lives? It wasn't like they'd just fucked up the most major task they'd ever been trusted with. It wasn't them who'd have to explain. My God. And the phone was already beginning to buzz in my pocket, and I didn't even dare to take it out to look at the number. I knew